Hello. Um, uh, yeah, it looks like we're live. Okay. So, my name is Lisa Ramos. I'm the co creator of the Global Energy Method. I wanted to jump on today to do some releases. We did this the other day, and I've done it in another group, and people seem to really be enjoying it. So, I wanted to jump on today again. Um, but as I'm waiting for people to jump in, let me just go over and share in one other spot. So I will be taking volunteers. If you would like to volunteer, what I need you to do is post your name and your age in the comments. And I know you may think I can see your name, but we're live in about 6 different places. And so not all of them I can see it. So I want to make sure I can see it by just simply asking for it. So push your name and age in the comments if you would like to volunteer, and I am going to just jump over and share in one other place. Just a second. And then I'll kind of just explain who I am. Uh, if you're watching, you may already know because I've done a couple of these over the last few days, but I just want to make sure that everyone who wants to see it is able to jump in. Hi, Michelle. All right. Okay. Let me just move that and grab my pen here. It looks like, oh, here's my pen. All right. So, Michelle, you're going to be the first one because you're the first one. We just started this live. And so you're the first one to volunteer. So, hello, my name is Lisa Ramos. I'm the co creator of the Global Energy Method. Um, I'm not going to get into much about me unless you guys want to know. If you have questions as we move forward, then you can go ahead and post them. But to just give you a brief idea what the Global Energy Method is it's an energy healing modality that couples energy healing, many energy healing modalities from across the world, together with psychological concepts and some nutritional concepts. So I guess I should say who I am. I am obviously the co-creator of the Global Energy Method. My husband is the other co-creator, and I am emotion code and body code certified. I'm a Reiki master. I'm a transformational life coach, a business coach. The list goes on. But I also have a master's degree in psychology. I'm currently in my PhD program. Hello, I can't see your name. If you could either give StreamYard permission to show me your name or just type your name in. Hello here too. All right. So I'm in my PhD program for psychology, for health psychology, specializing in complementary alternative medicine. My husband is in his PhD as well. His background is in clinical, well, not clinical nutrition, personalized nutrition, specifically looking at like genomes and stuff like that. Yes, thank you, Michelle. All right. Um, and so what we've done is we've kind of pulled all this together. So I guess I do kind of need to give you a little bit of background. I began as an emotion code practitioner. I have a very strong Christian background. My husband is a licensed minister with the United Pentecostal Church. And so we have a very strong kind of religious background, but we went through a trauma. I'm not going to get into that. That was a kind of a longer standing trauma where we almost lost a child. That caused me to go into different kinds of things like adrenal fatigue, all kinds of different things. So someone introduced me to the emotion code. I was very off put in the beginning because I felt like it just didn't align with my beliefs. Um, but I kept being exposed to it. I feel like God drew me there. And then I became an emotion code practitioner, eventually a body code practitioner. And then I still felt when I became a body code practitioner, I just felt limited. And especially, I didn't know how to build a business. I had difficulty finding clients because it seemed like everybody was fighting for the same client. I didn't know how to reach the people who really needed it. And so I felt like there's an issue here. So I ended up going and getting some education to figure out, how do you build a thriving business? It wasn't energy related at the time, but I was able to use that and build a thriving business. But I also felt somewhat limited, and I'm not going to get into that because all I can say is that there were pieces that I felt like were missing. And so I began to create the Global Energy Method. I created the Global Energy Method for myself, and we created the software for my husband because we had gotten to the point in the business where I was overbooked. And so my husband was able to quit his job and he started writing the reports for me. Well, it was taking a lot of time. So he's like, why don't we build this software? We had had a really good year. And he's like, why don't we build a software? So we put the money we made from that into building the software. And that's kind of how this developed. But then I noticed I was still really overwhelmed by how full the schedule was. So I began teaching practitioners. And I see that we have a couple in here. Uh, uh, some of our practitioners are here in the comments. So if you are here now, we're live in about 6 different places. So probably everyone can't see every comment, but we do have some practitioners on here. I know Letty Madrid is a practitioner, Elaine Lee is a practitioner, and I see both of them in here. I'm so thankful for you guys being here. And so basically, the Global Energy Method kind of evolved from there, and now we are an academy. We have been reviewed, and we've gotten global accreditation from the American Association of Natural or Nat American Association of Natural Wellness Practitioners, the American Association of Drugless Practitioners, and although they say American in their title, both of those are global accreditations. And then we are the first energy healing modality to be accepted as a continuing education provider for the Naturopathic Medical Certification Board. So that was a huge honor for us. And now it's been a little while, but now we are basically, what I do now is I teach and train other practitioners to become Global Energy Method healers and to create thriving businesses. Okay, so now that you know who I am and what the Global Energy Method is, I would love for you to experience it. But before I do that, I want to take a peek at these comments because I'd love to say hi to everyone. So I know this person had said hi. I did say hi to both of you. I wish I knew your name. And I love that Michelle is here. We've been kind of talking a little bit. I see a hello, Lisa. I have a feeling I know you, just I don't know why, but I don't know your name, but it feels like I already know you. And I see Michelle. Michelle, I am able to see your name, so that's great. You probably have already given permission. So now, were you putting your name to volunteer? Because if so, I just need your age as well. And then Letty is here. Hello. Oh, Susan Garcia. Hello. Thank you. Wonderful. So happy that you're here. Yes and yes. Okay. Seems super limited. All right. Hi, Lisa. I'm learning a lot from these demos. Oh, great. Wonderful. So let's see who this is. Hello, Lisa. Kathleen Muhin here. I would love to contact you privately to get a healing. I'm from Ireland. Wonderful. Not sure where you're based in the world. It's okay. That's almost midnight, I believe. So I'm in the United States, and you can certainly contact me privately. You can either email me at lisa@globalenergymethod.com. That's probably the best way. Go ahead and email me, lisa@globalenergy.com, and then we can kind of talk and If you wanted to book a session with me personally, then I can give you my booking page for that. All right. Hi, Jen. Yeah, good. I can see you. And Neelam is here. Hello. Okay. So Jen Henderson and Neelam Patel they are also Infinity Healers and Global Energy Method practitioners. So I am live in Infinity Healer because I want you guys to be able to see these demonstrations. But just so you know, okay, I see. Yes, I'm 54, but I'm not sure who that was for. Now, there was a Michelle at the beginning. It's not, hold on. Michelle McDonough. Okay. Oh, Michelle McDonough. Okay, that I'm talking to a different Michelle. Michelle, I am not going to attempt your whole last name because I don't want to butcher it, but it's Kulba, the final last name. That's who I was talking to, Michelle. But yeah, I got you for 54, yeah. All right. Hello, Mauricio. 45 too. Both of my Michelles are 45. How awesome. Okay. Did I say it right, Michelle? Well, I'm talking to Michelle Kuba. Did I say it? Kuba? Did I say it right? I have a pet peeve with saying names wrong. Okay, so we have Michelle 54 and then we have Michelle 45. So McDonough, you're going to be first. Michelle Kuba is going to be second. Okay, so you're both Michelle, so I don't want to get that confused. My husband's first wife's name is also Michelle, so I decided to hype it. Okay, yeah, well, that makes sense. Okay, so I am going to start with the two Michelles because those are the names and ages I have. And I want to show you the software and kind of go through it. And if anyone else wants to volunteer, then you can certainly do that as we're going through the release. I can't say session because we're not doing a full session. Yes, I'm Michelle too. So I believe this is Michelle McDonough. If I'm saying that right, I believe I am. Unless we have three Michelles. That would be kind of crazy, right? So let's just jump in. You guys can post questions about whatever as we're going through. If it's questions on what we're doing, questions on the global energy method, questions on the open class, or whatever, or if you want to post your name and age, then you can certainly volunteer. So I am going to push myself off the screen. Let me get this off. I'm not off the screen completely, but I'm just going to be down in the corner so you can see more of the software than me. All right. So let me get over to the right screen and we will get started. So the first person I'm working with is Michelle McDonough. And you know what? Let me just get back here. So this is a test account. You can see up here, it's Lisa Test Practitioner. But this is basically what it looks like to put your clients in. This software holds all client data in a HIPAA secured server. We purposely did that because one of the things I found is that clients were worried about the protection of their personal information. If you are collecting personal information for clients and you do not have, whoops, okay. And if you're collecting personal information from clients and you do not have some way to hold that information in a HIPAA secured way, then I recommend that you do, because if you're hacked or if you lose information in any kind of way, then you are subject to being sued. So if you're a practitioner and you're holding client information, then I highly recommend you do that. But the Global Energy Method software does do that for you. You add your clients, and it has a spot for their image if it's optional, but the name, phone number, email, gender, date of birth, and whether they're active or not. So that is one of the benefits of the Global Energy Method software, is that it does hold all your client data. It'll hold your client reports in here and everything, so that you don't have to keep anything on your personal computer. It will always be protected. All right, so let's jump right in. That's just a disclaimer. And for today's live, we're just going to do subconscious guided sessions, because we're basically going to do like one release for each person, so we can get to as many people as possible. And it may not be a release. I keep saying release, but you'll see as we go on that it's not always a release. So let's go in. I'm working with Michelle McDonough, and let me see what which specialty would the most impactful release be for you? Is it the physical, the psychological? Okay. All right. Is it in the contributor? Okay. Block energies. All right. Do we have an energetic anchor? Yes. Despair, grief. Okay. I'm actually getting a poverty anchor. I have a feeling you've probably worked on your abundance wall, but this anchor is still holding on. So if you haven't worked on your abundance wall, then I recommend doing that, Michelle. But Michelle is familiar with the Global Energy Method, so she is able to do that for herself. Let's see. Is it on the left? Is it on the right? Okay, so you have some external energies that are causing a poverty anchor. Absorbed, influencing, stagnant. Okay, we have created. So what that means is it's basically, I'll add a explanation to the report. I believe these are in. So just to kind of give an idea, see, I clicked that little box and the explanation for it goes in. But I do want to let everyone know that the software is currently in a beta launch. And the only reason it's a beta launch is because we are currently getting these explanations put into the software. It's so there's some things that are in and some things that are not. We plan to have all explanations in hopefully by the end of February. That was the schedule. Let's see, broadcast energies, primary external energies. We have a broadcast energy. Is it ascending? Yeah. Okay. So what you see here, I'm going to close this and just explain. So the reason why there's only one option here is because of our previous choices. With the Global Energy Method software, it customizes each screen as you move along based on the previous choices. So because of what I've chosen up to this point, this is the only thing that would come into play. And that one of the great things about the Global Energy Method software is that it does guide you through, and you'll see that as we do these releases, is that it will guide you through so that you're not wasting time looking for something that you don't need to address, but you're also not forgetting things that you do. And that is really crucial, because too often we may have all these charts, and remembering which chart to go to can be difficult. Now, I do want to mention that the Global Energy Method Academy, every single class does come with a paper chart, a PDF chart. So anyone that joins that class doesn't have to use the software, but it is highly beneficial and really saves time in the sessions. So it optimizes your work time without sacrificing a work-life balance. All right, so let's go into your sending broadcast messages and see. I'm just testing these. I'm getting I am weak, but I feel like this isn't physical. Let's see, is it physical related? Okay, there is some physical aspect to it, but is it also socially? Okay. All right. So you're feeling weak socially and physically. Physically. All right. And what I'm going to do for you here is I am going to release the sending broadcast energy. I want to show you this too. So it actually is Grammarly can work with the Global Energy Method software. So if you I tend to get corrected all the time for little grammar mistakes or misspellings. So I find that super helpful. So we're going to release the broadcast energy of I am weak. I'm going to replace I am weak. I should probably have I am weak with I am strong. I am also going to awaken courage. I'm going to awaken social comfort. And I'm going to encourage strong sense of self in social environments. Okay, so you can see this wants me to do something. Okay, A strong. Let me put that in. All right, so let's do that. So I'm just going to do that real quick. What I personally do is I like to write out what I'm going to do for it, and then I do it. Now, in a regular full session, I may not do all of these in one spot because there is places later to do awakenings and to do the positive pieces, but I would for sure do the release and replace. But since we're just doing one main thing for each person, I want to make sure I get as much done for that person as possible. So I'm going to put it all in this one thing. All right. So let me release the sending broadcast. You're very willing to do that. Okay. We're going to replace it. It's a little more, almost like you don't believe it. So let me make sure that we can adjust. Basically, I have certain statements I say in my mind with intention, and then I muscle test until I get a strong yes that they are accurate for my client. So let's see. Okay, you're strong. Let's awaken your courage. You're very willing to do that as well. Awaken your social comfort. And we're going to encourage that strong sense of social environment. Okay, that's a little bit you're a little bit like I'm not sure about that, but let's encourage that for you. Okay, is that encouraged? Yes. All right. Now, in the global energy method, we also teach you certain words that can be used, kind of psychological concepts that you can use to help activate the natural healing ability of the body. So we work as a practitioner, we work on the energy, and then I train you to use certain things, certain ways of doing things, so that as the client reads your report, or is even if they're online and they see it, that activates the messages in the mind to do these things. So there's actually more than just energy shift. There's a physical shift as well, even for things like this that are mental. So this will actually take place pretty quickly. I would expect sometimes you can feel it almost immediately. Sometimes it takes a day or two, but typically by the third day, you should feel all of these things take place. All right. So what I would do here is I would continue, and then I would, so you can see how it puts the corrections here. And there's multiple ways to do these corrections that I teach you when I'm teaching you about the software. So Michelle is familiar with it. So she's probably like, wait a minute, why did you put all of that there? Like, why didn't you just do the awakenings at the end? So let me kind of show you that. Once we've done all the releases we need to do for the session, we come to this screen and then we can add affirmations, reinforcements, encouragements, awakenings. We can add some notes about the results, or if we have some other modality, maybe you have one of those AO scanners and you're using a certain frequency, you can mention that here. Maybe you do Reiki, you put that in here, and then you add your processing time and then type out your summary, and then you will save your report. So I'm just going to preview the report. Now remember, I'm not putting all the explanations right now just because I want you to be able to see it. We're trying to get to as many people as possible, as quickly as possible. But in a regular session, I would either probably type in an explanation or use the generated explanation from the software. Now, when this actually downloads, it is a professional looking PDF. That's just kind of a preview. So thank you, Michelle, for, I'm going to start again. Thank you for volunteering. I appreciate that and letting me, okay, so Letty combines her AO notes here. Letty is a master practitioner. Oh, Kate is here too. Kate is also a master practitioner in the Global Energy Method. Okay, and I do see a couple more people have given me their names. So let me write those down real quick. So Michelle Kulba is going to be next. But before I get to you, I see Melissa. Hello, Melissa. So glad you're here with us. Melissa. There is something with M names today. Oh, there is another Michelle. Okay. So we have another Michelle. We're working with 3 different Michelles today. So I'll probably say Michelle and this age because you guys are different ages. So we just worked on Michelle McDonough. I know her personally because she's worked with me before. And she was 54. Michelle Kulba is 45. And then this Michelle is 50. So when I say Michelle, age 50, then you'll know I'm talking about you. And then we have Mauricio. And all M names. How interesting. And 47. Okay. Let's see. I see a me too, but I'm not sure what that means. I don't know if it was in reference to something else. Let's see. Thank you, Lisa. I've worked on Poverty Anchors, so I appreciate the release from Michelle McDonough. Yeah, so let me check. I should have checked to see if your Poverty Anchor was gone. Is it? It's not gone. So continue working on that. It may even be something new that has developed since you released it. If it is, you can check for that yourself. And if it is, I recommend looking deeper at a core issue, likely in childhood, that could have been causing these to trigger and create. So we want to make sure we get that deepest rooted cause. Otherwise, they can recreate. All right, so let's work on, we're going to work on Michelle Kulba, age 45. Let me get back over to my software. All right. Whoops. Let me start that session. All right, we're going to go subconscious guided. And let's see what we can get for you, Michelle. All right. You feel a little bit resistant, almost like you're not sure of the method, but it's just a little bit. We can still work with you, but I can tell that there's something going on where you're just slightly resistant. All right. You feel more opened up. I think that helped. Okay, so should we work on your physical, psychological, spiritual? Okay. So is it on the contributor related to screen? All right, and aura, chakra, Claire, meridian. All right, you have a meridian imbalance. Is it extraordinary 12 main? All right, no left, right. Okay, it's your triple warmer. Usually when there's a triple warmer, there's typically some type of chakra as well. So if you are a practitioner, I would check the chakras. I believe most modalities only give you the main 7 chakras, but with the triple warmer meridian, that will probably be okay. Let's see. You have a cognitive dissonance energy, identity conflict energy. All right, let's find out some details. I'm going to skip that screen and go here and add the details. So what age was this identity conflict started? Was it prior to 20? No. Prior to 30? Yeah. 20 to 25, 20, 21, 22, 23. So it began at the age of 23. Now I just want to explain what a identity conflict energy is. So what that is it's something in your life doesn't match, the subconscious and the conscious aren't matching up in regards to your identity. So sometimes that's as simple as having self dialogue like I'm not enough, or you can even be something like I'm fat, or um, you know I'm messed up. Just whatever it is. If you have a view of yourself or some type of inner dialogue that doesn't match your core beliefs, that's going to create an identity conflict. Now, sometimes what happens is it's the opposite, where in childhood, someone said something to you where you felt like you weren't very smart, or you weren't very pretty, or you weren't worthy. And then at the age of 23, you started to heal this and you started to become stronger. And now you're like, I am worthy. I am beautiful. Like all of these things. But this conscious isn't matching the subconscious. And so there's an identity conflict. What we need to do is find out what happened there. And then we need to kind of repair that identity. So oftentimes this is kind of longer, where we want to identify things. If there is stuff in childhood, we want to identify that and release it, so this identity conflict doesn't get recreated. That's another big difference with the global energy method, is when we find something, I don't like to just release it. The reason is because it was created for a purpose. Your subconscious mind, your body, your neural pathways, they're not dumb. They're not inefficient. They're extremely efficient, in fact. And their sole purpose is to protect the body. They're not considering kind of the social aspect of things. It considers, how do we protect the body? So when something happens and it needs to restore an equilibrium, it will create what we perceive as an imbalance as a way of rebalancing the body as much as possible. Okay, so for example, let's say you lose your job and you are under a lot of stress and you're worried about money, you're worried about your home, you're worried about everything. And so now the body is under a lot of stress. Okay, so what the body is going to do is it's going to use that energy and try to create some kind of balance. So it's either going to create an intolerance to stress to where it forces you to slow down so that you can get the rest you need, because typically stress is going to affect sleep and different things, or it's going to send that stress into something else. Like it may be that it's directed at it's a bunch of different things. Like it's hard to give you an example because there's so many different ways that it can manifest. But the body's or the mind's job, the brain's job is to restore as much balance as possible. So it's going to do things like shut down your digestive system, not shut it down completely, but like um, reduce your digestive ability. So and then it's going to probably increase heart rate. It's going to affect the eyes. It could affect the skin. It could affect a lot of different areas. And so that's why anytime these happen with the global energy method, what we do is we look at, but why? I don't want to just find anger and release anger, because what I need to know is, why is there anger? What is the initial stimuli that triggered this anger in the first place? If I just release the anger and I don't find the triggering event, then that anger is just going to be recreated. Depending on the triggering event, that may be a few days, that might be a week, and what might be a month. It could be even a year, depending on the triggering event and how impactful that was. But the point is, if we don't deal with the triggering event, it's only kind of like a band-aid to just release the energy. So that's why we want to kind of get to the core pieces of what is happening. All right, so this identity conflict energy began at the age of 23. And let me test, was there another person involved? Yes. Is it a man? Is it a woman? Okay, there's a woman. Is it a friend, a family member? There's a female family member involved. And I want to point out that up here on this little eye, for the people who are in already in the program, this little eye, in case you're new, you can click that little eye and it's going to give you instructions on what to do on this screen. And it's going to give you questions like how long the imbalance has been present, what is the balance affecting, who does the imbalance involve. And then you can use intuition, or you can use, you can use intuition, or you can use these questions to help guide you through this part. So this is a female family member who's involved. And I want to find out the purpose of this identity conflict. It's a little protected. So I think there's some more things before this that we would have had to address, or that we would want to. So if we were doing a full session, I would probably address this energy, but then go looking for these core causes, potentially some memory. I would guess memory energy. Or let's see, not the purpose, but let's find out how it's affecting you, because the purpose is not willing to be expressed. So, okay, so it's limiting your confidence in your decision making. I think it's probably doing other things too. All right, so it kind of feels like there's decisions that you need to make, and these decisions you're not confident in those decisions because of this identity conflict, because it's leaving this uncertainty, but it's not related to the decision, but this uncertainty feels like it's related to the decision. I'm not going to type all that out because we're taking a little longer But what I'm going to do is do your corrections right now. So I believe you're a practitioner. If so, what I would do is set a focus for identity conflict causes, and then use whatever modalities you currently use to look for those and then address those as best as possible. All right, so I'm going to repair the identity. I am going to awaken your intuition and ability to find the causes, since we're not going to be able to do that today. And I'm going to empower you to make confident decisions. Right. Let me do that just a sec. So we're repair the identity. It's a little resistant. So whatever the core cause of this is, it's something pretty pretty strong, pretty significant to you. Repair the identity. Okay, so I've repaired the identity, but what I will tell you is that I don't think that's permanent. You need to go and look for those core causes to make that permanent. So otherwise, let's see, in about 4 months, that could start to resurface. So you're going to find that you're more confident. You're going to feel more like in tune with yourself for the next 4 months. If you don't find those core causes, if you go looking for them as a practitioner, then, and you release them, then you're good. It's going to stay cleared. We just don't want that to recreate. So I hope that makes sense to you. So I'm going to awaken your intuition and ability to find the causes. And what I encourage you to do is, if you are working with a different modality, when you find something, just sit for a second and kind of feel what you're feeling. And don't limit it to just what you find. Kind of use intuition to expand on what you're finding. Okay, and I'm going to empower you to make confident choices or decisions. And you feel very willing to accept that. All right, let's see the triple warmer. Let's see, hold on. Just to give you a point of reference, this was 43% balanced. And now it's, oops, yeah, it's 64% balanced. Okay, so that way it'll give you a point of reference when you're continuing this for yourself. I am going to, hold on. I'm going to go like this, preview the report so that you can take a screenshot. I feel like you need a screenshot there. So I'm just going to pause that right there so you can take a screenshot, and I'm going to pop back over to StreamYard and see. So I see that you asked, how do you find the core causes? Was that before the what I said, or was it after? So the way you're going to find the core causes is, if you're a practitioner, which I believe you are, use whatever modality you're using and set the focus as identifying core causes of identity conflict. Once you're done with that, or so let's say, I don't know what you use, but since this is an emotion code, body code, and global energy method group, or I think that's where you're watching from, I believe it is, then I'm assuming you have at least emotion code. So then you'll see, ask if there's any emotions related to the core causes, release all of those. Once you are done with that, then identify if there's any related to the triple warmer. If you do use the body code, then continue with the whole body code to look for core causes. But when you get to the core cause, allow yourself to be open. Emotion code, body code, and quantum counseling. Okay. Spirit code. Okay. Yeah. So just continue with that. Yeah. Now, someone had asked, how are you coming up with these answers? I am extremely intuitive, but I am muscle testing. You might not be able to see it. I'm muscle testing. Typically, I'm holding my hand either here or down here. So you may not be seeing me muscle test. I muscle test using a finger tension technique. So I'm muscle testing for the client, just like you would with emotion code or body code. But I'm also extremely intuitive as well. All right. So let's see. Oh, Marie is here. Hello, Marie. Where'd my pen go? Okay. And again, we have another volunteer, Marie. I'm going to get to as many people as I can today. And it's another M name. So it's funny. It's Michelle, Melissa, Michelle, Mauricio, and Marie is what I have right now. You grew up super religious? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think me and you have talked about that. Okay. Okay. So then Sandra, finally, a name that doesn't start with an M. All right, I'm going to write you down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 that I have here. I don't know how long this has been live. We've been live about 45 minutes. Hi, Lizelle. Lizelle is also she's also a Global Energy Method practitioner. So we have quite a few Global Energy Method practitioners in here too, at least 5, I would say. Hello from Florida. Hello. All right. So let's work on these. I'm going to get to as many as possible. I'm going to work on these. I'm going to try to get through them really quick. And we'll see where we're at as far as time once we're done with these ones. Okay, so let me get back. And start again. So typically I would save that report, but because this is just a test session, I'm not doing that. All right, so we're on Melissa, age 35. Okay. Is the most powerful release going to be in the physical, the psychological? Okay. Is it going to be in the contributor screen? Yeah. Block energies? Yeah. Okay. Is it energetic anchor? It's an energetic trauma wall. Okay, let's find out how big this trauma wall is. Is it more than 10, 20, 10, 11? It's about 15 miles. Now, this is not literal. It is not 15 miles. If you're familiar with emotion code, this is similar to a heart wall. I mean, not the trauma wall. The trauma wall is far more in depth, but as far as the miles go, it's similar. Everyone measures in different measurements. I personally measure in miles. 15 miles is I would say it's a significant trauma wall, but not like over extreme. All right, is it absorbed, inherited? You have a hidden trauma wall. That's the most common. And let's see, we'll release something from it today. So that's on the left, on the right. All right, so we have a memory energy in there. That's very common for a trauma wall. You have a disruptive memory. A disruptive memory, let's see if we have the explanation here for that. A disruptive memory, yeah, that one isn't there yet, but a disruptive memory is a memory that continues to come up. So, sort of like PTSD, but not completely, where this memory is disrupting you. It doesn't have to be every day, but it disrupts you consistently. Sometimes it only disrupts you if it's the anniversary of the event. Sometimes it disrupts you all the time. So it really depends. This screen here helps me to identify. This is where I use intuition, or I can use certain little questions to ask more information about this disruptive memory. I'm not going to fill that in right now because I just want to do it all on this screen so that we can save time. So first I want to find out when was the event that created this memory? Was it prior to 10? 10, around the age of 8. Let's see if it's involving a person, a female family member. And it feels like some form of rejection to me. There it may be more complicated than that, but rejection at a young age of 8 can be super simple. It might mean that the parent or the family member, it's a female family member, likely your mother, let's see. Uh yeah, it's an authority figure, a female authority figure. So, potentially your mother. It could be as simple as her going to work or her having to travel at all, or maybe she was um, had something happen and she had to stay in the hospital overnight. Anything like that could make you feel rejection, or it could be something more traumatizing, something like just her. It could even be her not paying attention to you. Maybe she was doing work around the house and she wasn't paying attention to you when you were trying to communicate with her. Or it could be something more traumatizing, like, um, go in your room. I don't want to be around you right now. That type of thing can become this disruptive memory where now if you may feel like, let's say for example it was something like, go in your room, I don't want to be around you right now. Now you may feel like you can't really express yourself, or that people won't want to be around you. So that's just one example. I'm not saying that is accurate for you, but basically whatever happened is it's disrupting. This memory is disrupting your current life at least part of the time. And I'm not going to type more in there because I just said it all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to release the disruptive energy, not the memory. We are going to protect, because I don't know if this was positive, negative. I don't know the details of this memory. So I want to protect any lessons learned from the memory. And then I want to balance the memory. So if it was something simple, you can, as an adult, you'll understanding and it will stop disrupting your life. And then I'm sorry, my phone is ringing. You guys can probably hear that. Um, whoops. I've balanced the balance, but it's balanced the memory. And then I'm going to empower growth past the memory so that in the future you feel you are growing from this. All right, so we're going to release this disruptive energy. You're very willing to do that. We're going to protect the lessons. Okay. We're going to balance the memory. Okay. And we're going to empower growth past the memory. Is that done? Yes. Okay. All right. So there we go. This one, I can actually literally feel energy coming off of my shoulders. I don't know if you can feel that. A lot of times people do, but I can literally feel that energy coming off. Um, so, okay, let me pop back over and all right. So there's no comments about that. And let me go ahead and get right on to the next one. So now we're going to work on Michelle, who's 50. I don't know your last name, but that's okay. You know who you are because all the Michelles had different ages. So Michelle, who is 50, needs a physical energetic imbalance. Something in the muscular system, cardiac muscular system, the heart muscle. This doesn't mean there's a problem with your heart. What it means is there's something affecting your heart. A lot of times that's stress. So we'll see what comes up. All right. Okay, I'm actually getting that there's some toxicity in affecting. All right, I am getting food related toxicity, but I feel like there's more than one. So sodium. Okay, that makes sense for the heart because uh so what we would do here is this we can clear the energy, but I would also let you know that you have a sodium toxicity, which likely is just an overabundance of sodium. So let me check. How long has it been affecting you? Okay, this particular one is about 4 years. That's funny. I already had it. Um, and what I'm going to do for you is I am going to balance the sodium energy, and I'm going to encourage um, natural cravings. Well, I don't want to say cravings. We're going to encourage natural balance of sodium consumption. So, what that's going to do is it's going to make it so that you're not like if you crave salty foods right now, you're just not going to crave them as much. You may find that starting tomorrow, you're wanting more fresh foods. And so we're going to encourage natural balance of sodium consumption. And then typically I would put in a recommendation such as monitor your sodium content to make sure it's at least it's close to the daily recommended dose. But let's do this. We're going to balance the sodium energy and we're going to encourage the natural balance of sodium consumption. Okay. All right, that's accurate. But for you, I am going to go back into identified because I know there was something else. Okay, so there's also GMO toxicity. And again, I'm like normally I would put something in there. I would probably put how long it's been present or how it's affecting you, something like that. But here, okay, this is again 4 years. So I'm just going to put 4 years. And then let's see what we're going to do here. I am going to release GMO toxicity energy. I'm going to encourage healthy detox from GMO toxicity. And I'm going to encourage healthy choices in regards to GMO foods. Are you familiar with what GMOs are? Okay, so I'm gonna release it. And if you're already eating healthy, it's not uncommon for this to show up, because once you are eating healthy, it will kind of show up a little bit more because your body's trying to get rid of it. So we're going to encourage healthy detox from GMO toxicity choices in regards to the GMO foods. Okay. All right. Let me. Okay. So, all right. We're done with you, Michelle, but I have some more comments here. Let me go through. How do these things happen? Can you tell me which things? Okay, I see Monica, 46 years old. Okay, so I'm going to get through these as fast as possible, Monica, and try to get to you if we have time. Wow, you had to gather yourself. Okay. So you definitely felt that then. I felt every part of it. I feel weak right now, and after having a super emotional release. Yeah. I've always had a block with my mom. I've been trying to work on it. I'm so thankful for this thing. You are so welcome. I didn't even know anything about any of this. I was trying to decide what to do and then got a notification, and it was this divine timing. Wonderful. Not too familiar with GMO. Okay, so GMO is genetically modified organisms. So basically, there's certain foods that get like sprayed with glyphosate and different things, different stuff that's supposed to kill the bugs. But what happens is when we eat those foods, the chemicals they use to kill the bugs actually puncture little holes into our stomach, and so it can let particles of food go into our body, and we can start to have all kinds of different reactions, including intolerances and allergies. And so those foods are typically, corn is the biggest one, sugar is one. There's kind of a core set that are really high, like you don't want to use those unless they're organic. What I would recommend is to research GMO foods. Just type in GMO foods. You'll probably come up with tons of information. Oh, the positive changes that you write about. And the question was, how do these things happen? Okay, so there's two ways. First of all, we adjust the energy, and the global energy method training for practitioners. I teach you how to adjust that energy to do the positive changes. And then we also use psychological techniques that will trigger the brain to actually create that physical change. So we kind of attack it two ways, not just the energy. We want to do that part, but we also want to create almost like a placebo effect. But it's not fully a placebo effect. It's actually utilizing the mind's natural healing ability. I'll watch the replay of this because my signal was off and on, but I heard the last part. Thank you so much for choosing me as your volunteers. You're welcome. Okay, so I am going to move on to Mauricio. Let's see. So we got Mauricio and then Marie and then Sandra and then Monica. So let's see. Let's see how quickly we can get through those. Let me start again. I probably need to stop explaining so much, but I feel like you guys can get some benefit from those explanations. All right, so we're working with Mauricio. And is the most impactful correction going to be in the physical, the psychological, or the spiritual? The physical? Okay. Okay, you're a little resistant, so let's see. I can feel that it's somewhere like endocrine or something like that, but the testing is all right. So let me try to clear this resistance. All right. So is it circulatory, endocrine? Okay, yeah, I thought it was endocrine. I'm just testing the screen. Okay, we got a small intestine energetic imbalance affecting the endocrine system. And let's see. Energetic networks are disturbed. Energetic disruptions. Neurotransmitters. So the neurotransmitters basically are what sends the signals through the body back and forth from the brain to the body. And so they're really important to function optimally. So let's see. All right. So I'm getting that your serotonin is imbalanced. That could be because of quite a few things. But one way to help with the serotonin is once you wake up in the morning, step outside, let the sunlight, you don't have to look at the sun, but let the sunlight kind of hit you for at least 60 seconds to 2 minutes. And then that will start your timer for serotonin, and you'll find that you have better sleep at night. So, this showing up, I wouldn't be surprised if you have some difficulties with your sleep. So, internal, external energies. There's probably stress energy. Let's see. Yep, you got an influencing external energy. It's stress. Is it directed? Yes. So the stress is directed on avoidance. Okay, your way of or your subconscious way of dealing with stress is to avoid it. You're just trying to um, avoid it, pretend like it's not there, but it's causing a cascading imbalance all the way through to your overall physical balance, including your endocrine system and your digestion. So let's see, how long has this been present? About 3 years. You probably, now this is this particular stress, um, but you could have had stress before that, and you've been avoiding it for about 2 years. So what that means is you were trying to address it. Your mind and body was trying to manage the stress for about a year. It wasn't getting managed, or it wasn't being released. Um, so about 2 years, you just started avoiding it. So here, what I'm going to do at the top is I am going to balance the stress energy. Now, you may ask, why balance it? Why not release it? Well, that's a great question. And the reason for that is because you do need some mild stress in order to function properly. And so we don't want to just release it, because what that's going to do is it's going to cause you to get fatigued. It's going to cause you to, you may get brain fog. You may have issues with just completing tasks because there is no stress that's got you running. You need a little bit of stress to keep you running at an optimal level. So, regarding the avoidance, I am going to encourage stress management. I'm going to increase stress resilience. Whoops. And I am going to release stress avoidance. So what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to use the stress that's left in a healthy way so that you can accomplish the task you need to accomplish, and you are no longer avoiding it, causing all of the endocrine issues and digestive issues that are happening. And likely the digestive part of it is just sluggish digestion. So you're just not digesting as efficiently as you could be. All right, so let me do that. I'm going to balance your stress energy. I'm going to encourage your stress management. Was it encourage? Okay. Increase your stress resilience. So I increase your stress resilience. And I'm going to release the stress avoidance. Is that released? Yep. Okay. All right. So what you're going to get from that is you're going to start to feel probably by tomorrow or the next day, you're just going to feel more awake. You're going to feel more encouraged. You're going to be more productive, and you're going to feel less stress. You may even feel physically better. Like if you have tension in your muscles, that tension may kind of subside. Maybe not completely because we just did one thing today, but it will help. All right. Let's see. Explanations are great. Yeah. Okay. I've been looking into body code, emotion code for years, watched tons of videos, and asked this morning to guide me to my next step. They tossed me right in. I'll be talking with you soon, I hope. Wonderful. And you're welcome, Mauricio. I hope I'm saying your name right. I have a cousin named Mauricio, so that's why I say it that way. So hopefully it's right. All right, we're going to work with Marie now. Let me jump back over and start again. Okay, so all right, so Marie, how can we help you the most today? Is it a physical energetic imbalance? Okay. Is that on the left? Yes, circuit. We have an immune system imbalance. The lymphatic cells or system. All right. Lymph nodes. The popliteal lymph nodes. Okay. Let's see what's disrupting this. External energies. It's probably stress too. Actually, it's an inherited internal or external energy. So let's go to the primary external energies and identify one of those. Stress. Okay, so it is stress, but it's actually inherited. So we will identify which side it came from, but let's continue through to get the directed. Okay, so you are directing this stress energy into separation. So when you get stressed, you probably shut down partially, and kind of avoid maybe your social outlets, or maybe even if you have a spouse, you might have not communicate as clearly with them. You just kind of pull away. Or maybe if you're working in your business and you're doing really great, but then you start to get stressed, you might pull away and not do your live videos or whatever it is, but you are pulling away uh, when you're feeling stressed. So let's see who you inherited this from. And likely the person you inherited it from also has that same pattern of pulling away. So was it from your mother's side? Your father's side? Okay, so this is from your father's side going back 3 generations. Okay, I'm going to just get the separation. We don't need to get any information there for that because it's the same. The separation is just how you are handling it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to release the external energy of stress and replace that with balance. And I like to you. So I believe this Marie is actually in the program, in the Global Energy Method program, and um, a practitioner and an infinity healer. So she knows exactly what I'm doing, if I'm right about who this is. And then here, I'm going to do the same, and to not have to type it again, I'm going to copy, I'm going to paste, and I'm just going to change this to separation. And I'm going to replace this with connection. And I'll explain why I'm doing that after I do it. So we're going to release the external energy of stress. You're very willing. I'm going to replace it with balance. Now, normally I would go on and do the positive repatterning, Marie. I believe you are an infinity healer, so I'm just going to talk to you as if you were. So I would go forward and do the positive repatterning from here. And so, and since we're not going to do that on this right now, I'm going to go ahead and increase your resilience to stress. And I am going to increase stress management behaviors. Okay, so let me do that. All right, great. And then I am going to release the external energy of separation. Is that released? No. Is okay. Release the external energy of separation. Is that released? Is that okay? We're going to replace it with the connection. So this is going to help you to connect to people. So now when you're feeling stressed, you're going to have healthy connections rather than pulling away, because that's just increasing your stress. The healthy connections will help to manage that stress. All right. So let me mark that off. I have Sandra and Monica that are on my list. And so we're probably going to do those 2 people, and then we're going to be done because we're almost to an hour and a half. Oh yes, there's Marie Zilberman. I believe I said that right. So yes, you are familiar with it. Yeah, I thought so. Okay, thank you. And let's move on to Sandra. And if you have questions about the Global Energy Method, you can go ahead and post them. Once I'm done with these 2 people, then I will answer those questions. So let's continue. I'm going to work with Sandra, and then I'm going to work with Monica without going back to check for comments, just so we can get through it quickly. All right, so for Sandra, what would be the most impactful thing we can release for you today? Is it physical, psychological, spiritual? Is it a block energy? Yes. Yeah. So you have a abundance wall. No, abundance wall isn't only financial. It can be abundant. It can be abundant finances. Oftentimes that is a part of it, but it can also affect relationships, connection, happiness, just anything that is lacking can be a part of an abundance wall. So absorb hidden. Okay. That's very common. So, you know what? I should check the size. Is it more than 10? Okay, you have a 15-mile abundance wall. And I can tell you that that is actually very significant for an abundance wall. That's pretty common for a trauma wall, but for an abundance wall, that is significant. So you likely have a lot of things that are kind of standing in your way of abundance. So let's find one for you today. All right. We have a meridian imbalance, which means there's probably quite a few things. They're extraordinary meridians. Okay, it's your governing meridian. You know what? What I'm going to do for you, Sandra, I actually have a group session on the governing meridian that really works well to help clear that. So rather than doing just one tiny release for you, which you need more than that, is I want you to email me at lisa@globalenergymethod.com and I'll send you a link to that and you can go through that entire, I'll give you the whole video so that you can go through that. It was designed for my healers and self healers that are in the Global Energy Method, but I will let you go through that. This is only for Sandra because we identified this and I don't want to leave. I don't want to just do a couple tiny energies because it needs to be cleared. So, Sandra, email me. It's lisa@globalenergymethod.com. I'll send you a link so that you can go through that group session. It is a group session replay. So when you're going through it, you will actually be doing the release as I'm teaching it to you. Okay. So email me about that. All right. And then I'm going to move on to Monica because just Sandra, that's just going to be far more helpful than what I can do here. Okay. At least in the amount of time. All righty. So Monica, let's see. Is the most impactful release in the physical? Yes. Okay. Is it in circulatory, endocrine, immune, lymphatic, nervous system? Okay, it's in the nervous system. Central nervous system. Brain, spinal cord. The thoracic nerves is where we're going to go. Thoracic vertebrae 12. Do you have back pain? Okay, it may not be pain because I'm getting a nutritional imbalance here. It's actually an oversufficiency, a micronutrient oversufficiency. Magnesium. Okay, so I'm getting that there's you have an oversufficiency of magnesium. I am going to balance that, but let me write it down. I want to go back and just see if there's anything else in that section that we can address. And all right, so thiamine as well, which is B1. Is that all? Okay. All right, I'm going to balance the magnesium and thiamine. Balance the magnesium. the thyroid. I'm going to encourage healthy use of both of those. Healthy use of magnesium. Okay. And then I'm going to encourage balance in the thoracic vertebrae T12. All right. So sometimes that kind of builds up. So you may not have too much in your body, but it may not be absorbing correctly. So, with that being the case, if you are a practitioner, what I recommend is checking your full digestive system, because this is probably indicative of a digestive system issue. Okay, so where do I go to enroll? Okay, if you would like to join the upcoming class for Global Energy Method, you want to become a practitioner, you can go to globalenergymethod.com/certification. So globalenergymethod.com/certification. And then you can read all the details there, and you can certainly sign up and, there. You'll send me an email today, or send an email to me. Okay, great. Perfect. No stuckness in the thoracic. Okay. I don't know if you're saying you don't have stuckness in the thoracic, or if you're saying no to something and then you have stuckness in the thoracic. But either way, this is probably indicating that there is a digestive issue more than anything, because those micronutrients, most likely what's happening is the digestive system isn't utilizing those the way they need to be. And so that is why it is being stuck, or not being stuck, but that's why it's building up a toxicity. So by releasing that toxicity, no pain. Oh, okay. So you're saying there's no pain issue, but you do have stuckness in the thoracic. Okay, so that makes sense. So we've cleared that. I would expect you to actually feel relief maybe tomorrow, but for sure within 3 days for that stuckness. But I also, if you're a practitioner, I would also recommend working on your digestive tract as in as much detail as possible for whatever modality you're using. Okay. All right. And that was our last volunteer. But I'm not going to take any more volunteers because we're at about an hour and a half. But just to reiterate, you're welcome. Just to reiterate, the Global Energy Method is currently open for students. You can go to globalenergymethod.com/certification to read about the certifications. It is a 5-level certification. Again, it is globally accredited through the American Association of Drugless Practitioners and the American Association of Natural Wellness Practitioners. And it is also an accepted continuing education provider for the Naturopathic Medical Certification Board. So what does that mean to you, right? So it means a couple things. Number one, it means that outside boards have reviewed our program and found it to be to the level that it can receive either accreditation or this approval for continuing education provider for the Naturopathic Medical Board. But it also means that once you become a master practitioner, you can then apply with them to be board certified. So you can become a board certified Global Energy Method practitioner. You can also become a board certified holistic health practitioner with the training that we provide. So once you get to master practitioner level, then you are pre-qualified for that. So it's basically just filling out your application, and then it's approved. So That is one of the benefits of the actual training program. Just to give you a little insight on the program, we don't just train you to be a practitioner. As a practitioner myself and going through the process of becoming a practitioner, I started by being emotion code and body code certified. I found that I was very limited. I didn't know how to reach clients, I didn't know how to create a business. And so, with that, when you join the program to get certified, I also give you the Infinity Healer membership. So there's two ways to join. You can get just the core certification, or you can get all 5 levels. With just the core, you get 3 months free of the Infinity Healer membership, and with the full the full Master Practitioner track that has all 5 levels, you get a year free of the Infinity Healer membership. And I want to let you know it's fine if you don't continue after that. However, I don't want a single global energy method healer to enter the market, start to work without having some type of backing, without having some type of support, without knowing how to show themselves as the expert. And so that is why I include it. You can certainly continue once your free time is up. I would love it because we are a very close knit and interactive group. Our Infinity Healers are very active, and I'm constantly giving more support throughout the month. So every week I'm giving you something. I'm typically in the group myself, kind of helping out with just whatever question comes up, at least several times a week. And then there's also the global energy method software that you can gain access to after becoming core certified. Now, if you do the core only, you don't you don't gain access to the software. But if you do the full master practitioner track, you will gain access to the software after you're the certified in the core certified. What is this? I can vouch 100% for everything Lisa just said. It's an amazing and supportive community. Yeah, most people join it kind of not knowing what to expect, and they end up loving it. And one of the other reasons I give you this time for free is because I want to help you build your business. By the end of the year, if you sign up for the full thing by the end of the year, if you are implementing the training that I'm giving you, you should have a thriving business, a very lucrative business where if you sign up after that, it's the price of like half a session for a master practitioner. So it's there is a fee for the software and for the Infinity Healer if you choose to use it. Now, I do want to also say that every single training comes with um, charts. So you do not ever have to use the software, but I do recommend it. And you do not have to join the Infinity Healer. The other thing that's really good about that is I don't bombard you with sales emails. Basically, by that point, I believe that you know the value of the programs. So you can just let it expire or you can join. It's that I do send, I think it's 2 emails letting you know that it's going to be expiring, but that's all I send you. So it's not like some hard sales pitch at the end. That is not what this is about. The truth is, my husband keeps telling me, why don't you just take it off because it's confusing the signups. But the truth is, I don't want to take it off because I want to support you. Whether you stop using this stuff after the free months, I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. If that is what you feel is best for you and your business, good. You're not going to get pushback. However, I want you to be supported. I want you to have that access. And I can even show you right now inside when you join, you will get immediate access to the program that you're choosing, and you will get immediate access to a I'm not even sure what it's called because I've never said it before, but it's like a library of business support that's already in there waiting for you. Let me show that to you. Hold on. I believe I have it up. Okay, I do. So let me stop sharing my screen there and share another screen. Okay, here we go. So this, let me actually just check to make sure. All right, you can see it. Great. So this is what is sitting inside of this is the business side of it, and you have access to everything that's in here right now, and then I will be adding stuff every month. So in the business master classes, you're going to see that there's the top 3 ways to instantly increase income, some entry offers that help people, like there are ways to get people to start working with you, how to host a simple 5-day challenge to grow your list. I have a time management. There's actually a sneak peek where you can watch this entire video. If you go to go to our Facebook page. If you want that sneak peek, you can actually see 3 different types of trainings, and go to the Facebook page and look for a post about the sneak peek, because I'm not sure what the link is. And then this is a step-by-step method to create social media that converts. The power of self-doubt. This is actually a powerful one because that self-doubt is actually a benefit to you. And in this, I talk to you about how that's a benefit and how to use it for your benefit. Then we got how to do session packages inside the software, the power of a specialty, the purchasing power parity. That's if you're working with people across the globe and you want to make their pricing equal. I use this. So that does bring me to the fact that if you are outside of the United States and your money is not the same value as the United States, contact me. Contact me at lisa@globalenergymethod.com, because we do allow purchasing power parity. So that means, let's say you're in India or you're in Poland, then we will make sure that your purchasing power is equal to the United States and you get a discount. If you are in the United States, do not contact me asking for that, because I do require proof of address. But if you have proof of address in one of those countries, then you can contact me and ask for a purchasing power parity quote. All right, then we got some copywriting tips. You also, if you buy the full year, or not the full year, but the full master practitioner track, then you also get the coaching week that I did. And that's kind of like a client journey from not being your client, attracting them, all the way to rebooking with you. It's a very powerful replay, and it will help you jumpstart your business. But I also give templates in here. I'm not going to read each one. I'm just going to kind of go through it. And the people that are Infinity Healers, you're going to notice that this month is already released if you are in a 2023 class. This session release enhancement workbook is something that you can add to your sessions to validate higher pricing. This metals and minerals template is super easy to use and can be a special. The full body assessment template. If you don't know about the full body assessment, I did post a video of one of our practitioners using it, and you might want to go look at that, because that was really powerful. We also have in here, these are some group session replays. This is a manifestation one, some case studies. This one is in that sneak peek. The governing meridian, addiction, smoking, anxiety. Oh, actually, I think this is the one that's in the sneak peek. The tinnitus, overwhelm, and stress is not. Stop Trapping Trauma group session, clairvoyance group session, past lives, autoimmune, skin rashes. So you can see it's very powerful. So if you would like to join the Global Energy Method, you can go to globalenergymethod.com/certification. And if you have any questions on anything, just email me, lisa@globalenergymethod.com. Okay, my friends, I'm so glad you were here with me. Thank you for all my volunteers. I appreciate you. I will be doing more of these probably next week. And I plan to potentially do them weekly even after that. But hope to see you again in the future, and I hope to hear from you. All right, bye-bye.